Hello, everybody out there. This is Lloyd coming from Albuquerque Auction Addiction with our weekly My Auction Addiction Addictive video. I don't think we've done one for a couple weeks. Sorry about that. We've been quite busy, and we've also been training new employees, so it's been a little bit busy for us. So today I just kind of randomly drew something out of the hat. I had an email today or last night, and I had a call on Friday. Hey guys, can you help me sell some stuff? Well, our answer is usually sure. And they were like, the first one was, hey, I had a yard sale and my own estate sale, and amazingly, all this great stuff is left. I'm like, oh, really? What is it? Well, it's China, old China, and crystal, and Boyd's Bear collectible. Well, none of that. None of that is good stuff these days. And I had another email come in and say, hey, we need some help. We got some leftovers here. Crystal, China. Oh my goodness. So guys, not everybody is aware. There's certain mythology about what has value, what doesn't have value, what sells, and what doesn't sell. First of all, if you've had an estate sale or you hired somebody else to do an estate sale and they really tried and they did put their effort into it for a few days, most likely what's left is the stuff nobody wants. Now, it could be the overpriced things, could be that, there could be a lot of things why stuff didn't sell, but the vast majority of the cases, it's just stuff that doesn't have much value. But there's a certain mythology here about what may have value. And a lot of that has to do with what someone paid for something, like China. 20, 30 years ago, China, silver plate, crystal, they were the status symbol. They cost so much money, and people would buy them as gifts, and it was thousands of dollars, and you can buy China at the dollar store now. So the problem is there's a lot of beautiful sets of China out there, for example, and they're being passed down as our population ages in huge quantities. At the same time, my generation isn't having formal dinners with it anymore, and millennials could care less. So China, crystal, $138 a glass in the 1980s, now $3 a glass new. Lots of things have changed, so a lot of these old stalwarts aren't worth a lot. Really old furniture has very little value, and it's a value that continues to decline rapidly. So it's a very challenging situation for us in estate sales, because what do a lot older people have? A lot of old furniture. They spent a lot of money for it in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and now the style doesn't fit anymore. It's worn, it's chipped, it's damaged, and it just isn't the style that people want any longer in the homes. People aren't using coffee tables. They're not using entertainment centers. They're not using china hutches. The ship has sailed on these things. They're just not things that we use anymore, just like we don't use a wall phone anymore. Most people do not use a china cabinet anymore. So when we're looking at a sale and trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to be able to do with this sale? Of course, if those things got to go, we'll do our best to sell them. In the end, we may have to donate them. But let's just talk in generalities. What sells good? Modern furnishings. Well, if you're with an estate sale, they may or may not be. Many times in a state like New Mexico that's very poor, they are not modern. Many times we do moving sales where folks move across the country and they have a lot of modern furnishings, and guess what? They sell really well. Clients are happy. They get a high percentage of what they paid back for them. But in many cases with estate sales, that's just not the case. We do very well with guns. We do very good with jewelry. We do very well with desirable art, not prints, not motel art, but really desirable art. We do well with Southwest Collectibles. We do well with rare and unique things. And I think it's important to state that almost everything has gone down in value. over the last couple decades as the millennials don't collect things, and as just like with the China, there is a growing supply of so many things out there. Now, there's lots of exceptions to the rule, and those are the things that we're always on the lookout for and try to find. Let me give you an example. We talk about dated furniture not being worth much. Well, but there are some mid-century modern, Danish modern pieces that are worth money. We sold a desk for $6,000 recently. A desk. So those things are out there, and we're keeping an eye out for those. But it's important for anybody to understand, whether it's a moving sale or you're doing an estate sale, that the things in your house are not assets. They are consumable goods. You are using those things. You are wearing them out like a car. You drive a car 20 years, it goes to the junkyard and you get $200, okay? It's very much the same with furnishings and household goods. Now, you buy them, you take them home, you can probably sell them for half of what you paid for them. Great. 5-10 years later, you can't do that. So they are consumable goods. Your assets are really cash in the bank, stocks, bonds, and of course, your real estate, particularly if you've taken care of it. So you got to sell your house, you cash out, you get $250,000 in cash. You sell your furnishings and you get a few thousand. That's the reality. And that's because those are consumable goods. You may have paid $10,000 for them years ago, but now they're only worth a few $1,000s. So it's important to have your priorities straight. We see a lot of estates, and sometimes moving sales, but not as much, where the priorities just aren't there. You know, someone's got a home that's costing them a mortgage, taxes, insurance, utilities, a couple $1,000s a month, and they're worried whether they're going to get $3,500 or $3,800 for the goods in the house. That is a broken priority. We need to focus on getting the house empty. Of course, we want to get as much as we can. We get paid a commission, so the more we make, the more better you do, the better we do. So that's how an estate sale business is set up. So of course we want to get as much, but you need to stay grounded in reality. And the reality is, it's all for naught if the things are not sold within the home. And many of those old things, the brown wood furniture, the china, the crystal, the silver-plated knickknacks, the collectibles from the 70s and 80s, many of those have very little or no value. And again, we're happy to walk through the home with you, kind of identify these things, both positive and negative for you. But we need to keep in mind that times are changing, and they're changing every day, every month, and the value of certain things are going up. There are certain things that are going up, but in many cases, the value of things are going down. So it's a very complex process. When you hire a complex situation, knowing what may or may not have values and identifying what those values may actually be. And hey, sometimes we get it wrong. And we started a vase for $25 one time that sold for $3,000. So, but in the end, because we're in the business and we're knowledgeable, we're out there every day, we're going to have a better feel for what sells and what doesn't sell and what has value. It could be true to say there's a buyer for everything. But in some cases, such as extremely dated furniture, the buyer may be an impoverished person that goes to a thrift store and buys it, not someone that goes to an estate sale or an online estate sale auction. That may just be a different avenue, partly because the value of the item, and because generally speaking, different people shop in different places. We'll leave it at that. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of negative here about values, and I hate to say that, and we love it when we find something that's worth a lot of money, and we're able to make our clients very happy, and that does happen. And many times it's just a basis of a lot of little things adding up to some value, with a few more valuable items. But the important thing is, consult with us, bring us in early on a project. What you're going to find with the My Auction Addiction folks, we're going to be very honest and open. We're going to tell you what's not worth money. You may not want to hear it, but we want you to hear it because we feel like it's better to under promise and over deliver, right? Now, if we're able to find something, I found a lady eating with a $1,200 set of sterling silverware. I said, maybe that's not what I'd be eating with, but anyways, or somebody had a gold coin necklace that was real laying in their jewelry box. We're really happy to share those things and share in the profit from it. But also what we're going to give you in a consult is probably a lot of real world, hey, these things may not be worth what you thought. You can't change that, but we need to figure out, we need to understand the value of getting the home empty, downsizing, moving on with our lives, and that sort of thing. Anyways, I hope that kind of gets across our point and a little bit of information on the values of things and what may have value and what may not have value. Like I said, after these couple of emails the last couple of days, it really made me think, wow, there's still a lot of people out there that don't realize some of this. But anyways, if we can be of assistance with you or your family's project, whether it's a estate sale, moving, or just simply downsizing, please give us a call anytime, 505-252-0915. Let's set up a consultation. Let's come out and take a look at it. It doesn't cost a penny. So what do you got to lose? All right, guys, you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy this beautiful, 70 degrees in late June weather. And we will see you at the next auction, or we'll see you at your sale and see if we can help you out.